Hello and welcome to the Navy Blue Corner. I'm Ian and this is our Supercoach team reveal. We thought we'd do something a little bit different. We did this last year and obviously with the Carlton Supercoach League running up again this year, we thought we'd reveal our team going into this season. And we're very fortunate. We won the league last year. So there's almost so much pressure for us to bounce back. And so I thought we'd do a bit of a team reveal, talk through it. And I want your thoughts in the comments as well to know, have we made any blunders? Do we need to make any last minute changes? And also drop your teams in the comments below. I'd love to know who you're going with this year. But let's start with the defense. Let's get right into this. We've had to start with the best premium out there in the business. It is, of course, our man, Sam Doherty. He's going to rack it up in the defense like he did last year, averaging 109. He's got the potential to go even higher this season. The cliche that will be mentioned a lot in this episode, a lot this year, is added midfield minutes. With Sam Walsh out, it makes sense that he'll be getting a little bit more. And yeah, I just don't think you can look past him. It's really him or Dawson. And look, to be honest, we've got to back in our man. And last night, chaos. There was absolute super coach and fantasy chaos with the injury of Elliot Yeo throughout the structure of our team. Lockie and myself, we were in crisis talks. We had a phone call that probably lasted, I'd say, about 3 hours to 4 hours last night, trying to fix what Elliot Yeo did to us. And it made things a little bit different. But one guy that we had our eyes on for quite a long time, and he's managed to stay in our team here. It's an underpriced man in Jordan Ridley. He's priced at 504 there, averaged the 91 last season. He's scored pretty big in the past, and we think he can get back to that just because of the role changes, new coach, being able to play a bit more of that sort of third defender interceptor, which is what we like. And preseason looked good, only in 12% of teams, so a little bit of a point of difference that can maybe add to things a little bit. But the big thing that Lockie was yelling at me all throughout that phone call was value. He wants value. He wants the underprices, someone that has a bit of potential. And when looking at the other defenders, I don't know. We don't think that Sinclair can do it again. Sicily, he's good, but at what cost? I don't like Stewart. He always, if I select him, he does poorly. If I don't select him, he does well. We just didn't want to touch him. We think that the best you can get at the top is Doherty and Dawson. Could we afford him? Could we spend money elsewhere? Probably. And the only other one we liked was a Gus Brayshaw. But again, just what is he doing? Is he playing halfback? Is he playing wing? Is he playing in the guts? Bit of question mark. And I think just for the value of it and knowing that we wanted to go the value in a guy like Yeo, we're sticking to Ridley. And then, so we had those two as our first two. Yeo was the third. What do we do? A lot of talk about Will Day. And again, it's the trust. What can you trust? Go with what you know. Be simple. And a guy that we're all high on until one preseason game where he cops a tag and all of a sudden, let's throw him out. We don't want him. And it's Nick Dacos. You've got to have him in there. He's such a good player. Averaged that 91 on that halfback. He's going to be playing midfield. He's going to be around the ball more. We were so happy with that first match simulation, practice match, whatever you want to call it. We lost our heads when he copped the slight tag. Will he score amazingly every single game if he gets that tag? Maybe, maybe not. But don't overthink it. Be simple. Get the money up to him. We've gone the two. And then the next one, we're going into our value. It's, of course, Liam Jones. He might have shafted the Carlton Football Club, but he's now back with the Dogs and looked good in that preseason game. Don't want to read too much into it. Don't think he'll score those hundreds, but if you get 70, 80, we're making money, and you just really want someone in that defense that you can trust. He's got that job security. He's got that in spades. And looking at the other rookies, Ruben Jinby, ready-made, looked good in the under-18s, carved out that role at West Coast. They seem to be really high on him, like what he can bring to the table. Job security seems like it's there. They've already announced that he's in the team. That's enough for me. Bring him in. Other one, speaking of job security, is Charlie Constable. Will it be there when a few others come back into the team? Possibly not, and that is the concern around him. But the role is there if they keep him in. And scoring potential is obviously there. Out of that defense, sometimes you just got to go with the popular choice. It looks like everyone really likes the Constable. So if there are any issues, we've got trades. We'll trade him out. Potentially one of these other rookies could take his spot. But I'm happy to keep him in there for now. And the other one, the other rookie, will go on the bench now, Darcy Wilmot. Was pretty high on him again in that draft class the year prior. Gets a bit of a look in late in the season. He's an absolute character. Yeah, it looks like he's got that wing role. Scoring potential is maybe not as high if he was down back, but I don't know. There's not a lot of, I think, these rookies in defense that I trust, and I trust Wilmot a bit higher than others. And there's a potential, again, that he takes over someone on that starting field. You got to go for him. And the other one we love is Lockie Cowan, my man. With the Zach Williams injury, he's got his opportunity. He's been named in the team. Green dot. We love the green dots early into this season. Scoring potential, I don't think it's super, super high early on with some tough matchups. But you never know with this guy. He was so good in the under-18 competitions at being able to just be the consistent scorer. Even Supercoach, I think he was like the second or... So I think it was believe he was the second highest in the NAB league behind an Ashcroft as far as scoring throughout the season. That's enough for me. He's on our bench. We don't even have to worry about the scoring too much. He's going to make us cash. Probably the only other person we were contemplating was a Connor McKenna. So it just came down to money, really, and where could you use that money elsewhere, and do you trust the other guys enough? And for us, we did. Moving into the midfield, let's try and breeze through this because this was the toughest part of our team. What premiums are we going? Where are the mid prices? How many? What's the team structure? So we tried to nail a lot of the other sections first to see what we could play with. But one man we're not worrying about. It's Rory Laird, highest scoring player in this league. He's going to do it again. Adelaide don't have a lot of other midfield options. Who cares about the tag that GWS are going to bring on him? He apparently had a tag in the last round last year and absolutely dominated. Don't overthink it, people. Rory Laird is your midfield one. Let's ride it. Now, Lockie screaming at me again. Value, value, value. Clayton Oliver is very expensive. Trust his scoring, but can you get someone for a little bit cheaper that you think can get close to his scoring? Lockie Neal, Dunkley's in there. Does that affect his scoring at all? Unknown. Leaves an asterisk for me to just go on that value case. It's not a lock for me. I think Lockie Neal will definitely be in that top 10, but whereabouts is he? Can you find someone better? Took, soft tissue injury, rules him out for me. One of my favorite players. Think he's the first trade-in option at the bye. Got the early bye, which helps. May start the season slightly slow with the injury-interrupted preseason. Don't want to lock him in now. So, yeah, trade up option definitely later. Callum Mills, so many mouths to feed at Sydney, so it's clearly Bont for me. That's what we've locked in. 35% of teams, so it looks like around this mark, a lot have agreed. Only Oliver is higher, which I believe is a few trying to save a tiny bit of money over a Rory Laird there, but the next best for me is Bont. Everyone is agreeing with the same. You take Dunkley out of that midfield. He's the Lockie Neal in reverse. And yeah, as long as, fingers crossed, Bevo doesn't do with Bevo and just play him in the forward line. I'm hoping that because he wants to play all the Giants down there, he wants to literally get anyone over 6 foot. And he's like, you down in the forward line, we'll play all 7 of them. That means Bont will get a bit more midfield time. But even if he doesn't and he scores what he did last season, you're not going to be complaining at 116 average. I think he's one of the safer options there that don't have the question marks, just have slightly upside with Dunkley out of there. Then, who do we drop to? I tried to convince him about my man, Andrew Brayshaw, who seems to be in my teams every single season. But we almost convinced ourselves of a bit more value, that buzzword again, and that was Josh Kelly. A lot of people talking about this man. A lot of talk maybe more on a Tom Green or a Cornelio. But Josh Kelly, he's the Rolls Royce, averaged 105 last season. He's going to be doing a lot more of that. He's the mid one for GWS, and that is kind of the conversation starter for me there. Issues are around his injuries and his injury history. Is he going to last? Is he durable enough? But didn't have any injuries in the preseason. Looks to be flying. And for that sake, and the point of difference as well, 7%. I do like that. I love when you get a player that is a bit lower rated than some of the others. Even though 7% is quite high compared to a few here. I'm locking in Josh Kelly. I think it'll be a really good pick. And doesn't have Taranto, doesn't have Hopper there to deal with. He gets a lot more midfield minutes. Lock him in. Now, that buzzword, value. We want to underprice premiums. Tom Green is the one that everyone is looking at. It's mouth-watering. 35%. Taranto out of there. Hopper out of there. It's his time to shine. We know this man is a good footballer, averaged 97 last season. It can only go up from here. But is there someone else because everyone's got Tom Green. We've already got Josh Kelly. How many GWS players do I want in my team? The answer is not many. And so, Luke Davies Uniacke, 4%. I love a point of difference. And having this navy blue corner team, it allows Lockie and I to experiment a little bit, put our brains together. Both of our individual teams last year were garbage. The team we put together with each other became an unbelievable one. We won our Supercoach League with it. And so we're trying to do that again, experiment a little bit. And that is in the form of LDU. We believe that him and Tom Green are like pretty much identical as far as their floor and their ceiling. Prices, Davies Uniacke slightly higher, but he's got that point of difference. And what the convincing factor was, and I didn't even believe this at the time, I just threw it out there and we made ourselves believe it. GWS with Tom Green. He's behind Kelly. He's behind Cornelio in the pecking order of midfield. There's a lot of mouths to feed there. People are talking about a Finn Callahan as well as a point scorer. There's a lot of people. Whitfield potentially as well. A lot of people they're wanting points out of. Mate, it's North Melbourne. Don't overthink it. Who else is stealing his points? Maybe a Cunnington is a decent forward option there. But Simpkins out early as well. So I like his ability to score, hit the ground running, and start to have a really good season. This is the year of LDU. New coach. If Clarko can do it, I'm sure he will be able to. Lock him in. Nice little point of difference. So I do like that one. Hopefully the people in our Supercoach League aren't listening to this, stealing all of our ideas. That is the worry with this. With someone that I can imagine is in everyone's team. So don't even worry about it. I'm shocked that he's only in 49%. How is he not in 100%? It's Jacob Hopper. We've spoken about GWS losing some players, but it's Richmond's gain, priced at 332. He's going to be scoring better than that, and he's just consistency. He's going to be in that team. Job security, scoring potential, ticks all the buzzword boxes. Get him in there. Then we're moving on to the next one. I would love to know where this man sits for those listening, those viewing this, because team structure is pretty much the differing point. Everyone has very similar teams. It's the structure, and where Ashcroft lands in that midfield is the interesting point. He's M6 for us. That is where he lands. Best draftee coming through. Scoring potential is going to be unbelievable. Keen to see what he can do at AFL level. Some people have him higher. Some people have him lower. Drop it in the comments below, but he's M6 for us. Moving on to the rookies. It's Cam McKenzie, one of the most well-rounded players in the draft last year. Hawthorn have no midfielders. They got rid of a fair few. No Mitchell, no O'Meara. Someone has to do it. McKenzie is a lock. Other one that was spoken about has been Josh Warple. Has scored previously. There's less players in that midfield. There's a Newcomb. There's maybe a Josh Ward as well. But I just, at the value, this is it. I mean, I've said this word about 1,000 times. I'm always going to have a counter on this video about how many times I mention it, but opportunity cost really for me around a Josh Warple. Where he's priced at, I actually want to get this up so I have it with me. 309. It's just a bit under Hopper, and you back Hopper in a lot more, 100%. So what are you doing with a Warple? Where is he sitting, and what could you do instead? Can you jump a Warple down to someone who is my next guy and have him starting, who we trust with a role on field in their midfield in a Will Phillips? Or do you go up instead? Can you drop it down as a Will Phillips, bring him in, and then move Warple up to a Davies Uniacke? Or are you taking Phillips off the ground and having, a Warple in there, believing his upside? Those are sort of the question marks, and those are the things that I know a lot of looking at. For me, I want the value. I want a Phillips in there to move someone else up. But if you've been managed to move the magnets around and do something else, get Warple in there, get Davies Uniacke in there and keep things moving. Let me know, because I may need to be changing my structure. But that's what we've got at the moment. Jumping to the bench. This is the interesting part. This is subject to change. Big asterisks on the bench. Depends on who's named in this, but someone that you need someone on your bench that you can trust. If there's an injury, you can bring him in. It's 38% owned, so it looks like we trust him. It's Oscar Baker from the Dogs. He's moved over there. Looks like he's playing on that wing, carved out that job security. Thank you. Throw away the key. Scoring potential is a little bit higher than some of these other rookies, being a little bit older. So we back that in. Apart from that, we're going back to West Coast. It seemed like at one stage my whole team was West Coast and GWS and North Melbourne, which was a big worry for me. So we've had to alter things a little bit. But Campbell Chesser, what we like is green dots. And this man, they've announced that he is playing Did like him in the under 18 competitions. He's got a bit of dash about him. It sounds as if West Coast are liking him as well. They don't have a lot of other players to throw in there, so it's rookie galore at the moment. But what we like is the dual position. He's a defender as well. If we need to, if he starts scoring, Constable gets dropped, we can flick him. We can switch him, and then we can worry about a trade at another stage. Versatility is the key. AFL coaches love it. Us Supercoach coaches love it. Speaking of versatility, I probably would have wanted this guy in my forward line, but unfortunately, I don't love a lot of the midfield rookies, and for price and everything, it's Alwyn Davey. But again, versatility, dual position. He can go down in that forward line if you need him. If we need to make a switch at any stage, we can. So I love having a guy in there in our midfield that worst case, we can move. And at the moment, yeah, a defensive option, a forward option, it's just nice to have. But Alwyn Davey, smoky to be high up there in the rising star. I don't love Essendon's squad. I do like him as a player. Can play midfield, can play in that forward line, high half forward, can almost do anything. Really classy player, uses the ball really well. Not a lot of chatter compared to some of the other rookies this year, but keep your eye on Alwyn Davey Jr. I do like what I see from this young man. But he's on our bench, so even if he doesn't score that well, that's okay. We don't need him to. Just generate the cash. God, Ruckman, another difficult one. What used to be the set and forget, Melbourne have stolen it themselves, and now they and their team have got a set and forget of the Gawn Grundy. It takes away what we can expect, and it throws a question mark on Max Gawn. We're going away from it. No Max Gawn, no Grundy for us. The lock is Rowan Marshall. He's 55% of teams. It looks like he's the lock for everyone else. I don't care what Ross Lyon has to say. He said that he might be splitting ruck with someone else. I don't care. Ross, shut up. You've been out of the game for too long. We don't like it. I don't want to hear from him. He's on bloody Footy Classified saying he's about to steal TDK. A bit of tampering there. We don't like to hear it. Believe in Rowan Marshall. Don't overthink it. We liked him as an option anyway. Take Paddy Ryder out of there. Even if someone else is stealing some hit outs, mate, he's the number one, and they don't have any tall forwards, so he can be down there banging in the goals. Rowan Marshall is the number one. There's the least question marks around him. And great value at 506 as well, which is just allows you to pad out the team elsewhere. That second ruck was always the issue. I'll be honest. Lockie and I had Tim English all preseason. He was out of our team last night for the first time, and it was really around talking about his injuries. He's had 2 soft tissue injuries early into the season, and I don't want guys that are a little bit underdone. So immediately my eyes went to Jared Witts. He's the only ruckman there, but Lockie's yelling at me again. Value, value, value. Can we reduce it, get someone else in, and bump up someone else in this team? And so we've kind of talked ourselves into Sean Darcy. There's a bit more injury issues. There's a little bit more what to go with Luke Jackson. But, and I'll say this, and I will say this, Fremantle have lost Rory Lobb. They need another key, tall option in their forward line. For me, that's Luke Jackson, because I still don't love Taberner. He's fine, but you need another added into that. What did Max Gawn score last year with Luke Jackson? Mate, he averaged 113. You can expect that Sean Darcy's scoring impact will not drop that much for me. I see Luke Jackson coming in basically doing exactly what Rory Lobb was doing. So I don't think it affects him, and being able to get someone a little bit cheaper than in English, a little bit cheaper than a Jared Witts, for me, it's a no-brainer. Lock in Sean Darcy. And then the bench option, who's the cheapest? Who's not going to play? It's the big boy, Nick Madden. He's basically a man already. Big man child. He's injured as well, which so he's going to get that 0 each week, which is what you want because he's the captain loophole option. And what do we want? We want the versatility. Worst case, if we need to chuck him forward at some stage, that's fine too. But he is the loophole for us, just to allow us to play with the vice captain and the captaincy each week. Again, don't overthink it. Speaking of don't overthink it, forward lines are very generic, and we have gone very generic. So you probably almost don't need to listen to this section. The main debates were earlier. Of course, we're going Josh Dunkley. There's no questions about it. He's getting more midfield time. Looks good in preseason. Chuck him straight in. Now, the only conjecture in his forward line at the moment, you've got Canelio. You've got Rosie, you've got Taranto, you've got Goulden. Who are you picking? Fortunately, while I probably like Cornelio over all of the others as far as scoring, it's pricey. The value's with Rosie. Get him straight in. Don't even think about it. Bang. Other options, Heaney. I think he's going to regress. Butters, I prefer Rosie. Dylan Moore, I just can't back him in. I can't back him in. I hate tall forwards, so they're out of it. Taranto, new team. He'll be the first one to score an average over 100. For Richmond, chuck him straight into that midfield. They're pretty thin without him and Hopper, if I'm honest. He just has to beat. He's going to be their main man. Don't worry about spending too much time down forward. I think he's going to be the midfielder. 59% of teams. Everyone agrees with me, so don't worry about it. And then the only debate, and I think Lockie and I probably did debate about this for almost an hour of that 3-hour phone call last night. And that was around, do we go Goulden or do we go Nat Fyfe as a rogue option? Because Nat Fyfe is priced at $3.13, averaged 63.3 last season. He's in 42% of teams, which almost tempted us thinking, well, if everyone's got him, you can't go too wrong there. 39% of teams for Goulden as well. This is the conversation. This will be the Supercoach chat around it. Goulden, we think his ceiling is 90. His floor is 90. He averaged 85 last season. He'll take that natural step and he'll get increased midfield minutes. The issue is around the mouths to feed. Mills and Papley didn't play in those preseason games. They're going to affect his CBAs. You got Mills, you got Papley, you got Heaney who's going to be in there. And then you got the likes of Parker, Rowbottom, Chad Warner. We're expecting a lot of that young crop, and obviously Parker's going to be in there. How many CBAs can this man get? How many minutes in that midfield will he get? He's good on the wing. He can play a bit of half forward. He's the versatile player there. And that's the question mark. At some stage, this guy's going to average 110 plus, 100%. He's got that capability. It's just a matter of when. That was the worry, and can we get that value? Because when we threw Fyfe into this team, we were able to bring up a Ridley and a Dacos, make them Brayshaw, make them a Dawson, a Jordan Dawson. Hell, you could go even higher with that. We were able to bring in an extra premium into that midfield if we wanted. Get Uniacke into bloody Clayton Oliver, whoever you wanted. Those were the fun elements when looking at this. Issue with Nat Fyfe. Looks like he's going to be basically a forward. Will he play some midfield time? Wouldn't surprise me, but can you trust his body? And when you're looking at floors, when you're looking at ceilings, it's why they're priced as they are as well. Fyfe, his floor is genuinely 0 if he's injured, or it's like a 40, to be honest, if he's just playing that forward role. His ceiling is high. He could be a 90 average player, and also he could make you a lot of money. But we don't have the balls to do it. We're happy enough with Ridley and Dacos. And that was kind of the conversation. We had Yo in there, and we were fine with that. We've increased Yo to a Dacos, so that's fine. We'll go Errol, back him in. Worst case, he doesn't have a lot of that midfield time. He doesn't score as well. You've got some more money to play with. If Fyfe is a bust, what do? Do you take him down to another rookie? I don't like the prospect of that, so we're going the safe option. But let us know who you've got. Do you have Fyfe? Do you have Goulden? Do you have both? Give me your forward line in the comments below. Give me your full team. I need to know them because I may need to steal some ideas. But there's a no-brainer for the rest of this team is, of course, Harry Sheezel, my number 2 rated rookie last year, rookie under 18 player in the competition, in the draft. Could play anywhere, really. He's that forward spark, could kick a goal out of anything. He's straight into that North team. There's a potential he gets some midfield minutes, plays a bit on the wing, has been whispered. Everyone's got him in their team, so don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. He's straight in there. And the other man is my number 3. Number 3, maybe controversial take. He was my number 3 rated draftee last year, Mateus Philippou. He's in the team by far in St Kilda. They have a lot of injuries. No one down forward, which you can look at this 2-way. Maybe it hurts his scoring potential because he's now in the forward line a bit more than he may have been in the midfield. That hurts him a little bit, but maybe it doesn't because they've got no one and therefore he's going to get all the points in that forward line. But what I like, job security, bang. He's got a role, whether it's forward or it's in the midfield. And there's that upside. He can do anything, this man. He's a bit taller, so you don't have to worry about him getting thrown around a little bit. Yeah, I just think it's a no-brainer. Bring him straight into that team. Scoring-wise, these are the thing with rookies. If they don't score well, everyone's got the same rookies, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about him every week. So don't overthink it. Last two places. This is where I wanted Dave in that forward line, but I wasn't huge on a lot of the other, I guess, midfield rookie options. So the big man really is Fergus Green. He's the one I'm most high on. Mature age, roles there, job security's there, ticks all those cliche boxes for Supercoach. Everyone has him. What else could you want from him? He'll kick some goals down there. You don't even need him to score. Just generate that cash on my bench. And speaking of, we don't even need him to score big at the moment. Sam Sturt to finish off this team, to wrap it all up. Probably the most changeable man, I will be honest. When teams come out, if a rookie gets named, if someone else is there, Sam Sturt is probably the first to go. And you can maybe swing Davey down there or find another sort of forward option. But I don't mind it. It seems as if there is a position for him in that Fremantle team. That's enough for me for that last rookie option. Just as long as he's playing, as long as he's a green dot, and the only one that cannot be a green dot, as long as that's Nick Madden, that's the team we'll roll with. But yes, this is the final Navy Blue Corner Supercoach team. That is the team reveal. Unless there's any rookies or any wild team selections, this will be what it is. We're slightly worried because we've won the Supercoach League last year, the Carlton Supercoach League, that we'll be trying to keep you updated in weekly. And so we're no longer the hunters. We're being hunted. Everyone's looking for that bit of insight, and we've kind of just given it to everyone on a silver platter. I wish this was a red herring, a bit of a diversion, but no, this is it, laid bare for everyone to see. So drop your teams in the comments. Let us know what you agree with. Let us know what you disagree with as well. You can't just tell me LDU's the worst pick in the world. You've got to tell me why, and maybe we can work together and make sure we take out this league. Give me all the little pieces of advice possible. But yes, last thing I want to say before I wrap this episode up is, if you are enjoying the Supercoach content, if this is something that you like, if you want this to be something we talk about weekly, you need to let us know. You've got to like this video. You've got to put it in the comments, because unfortunately, as planned, right now, this will be the only Supercoach content that will be out this year. It's just a team reveal. We'll be mentioning the results and the weekly results in the podcast and on socials, but we're not going to be doing any videos on it. So I'm putting this out to you guys. If you enjoyed, if this is something you want, if you want us talking about the trades weekly, having a bit of a back and forth discussion, almost turning a part of this channel into a bit of a fantasy Supercoach related thing, you got to let us know, because right now we won't do it. But if there's enough demand, if you people want it, what am I going to do? I've got to listen to the people, and we can make this a weekly segment. We can go back and forth. We can get your opinion, get your fan questions. We can, as I said, make this almost a Supercoach channel. I know it's a passion of mine, so it would be fun to get a little bit of that element in there. But as I've said, if you don't tell us, it won't happen. But yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this one. If you hate it, it could be a one-off. It might be the only one. But yes, that is our Supercoach team for 2023. My God, can we go back-to-back? Can we win the Carlton Supercoach League? Fingers crossed. But that's it. Go the Blues. Let's get a bloody win tonight against Richmond in the season opener. I hope you're all excited. Go Blues. See you guys next time.